See if that's working. I'm not sure. I think I found it. Right, there we go. Audio's working finally. That was confusing. Right, anyways. Season 10, round 1 of NASCAR GT. I was saying all this, but my microphone was muted for some reason. But we're finally here, and we are ready for round 1 at Blue Moon Speedway. And what I was going to do was look at everyone's liveries, just scroll through, see who has who. No, like, competition for this, obviously, but this is what we'll do. Niles livery, a duck, makes sense really, being TM Ducky, but new cars obviously for this year. We've gone from onto the Ford Mustang for this season. It's a new change. Not sure how much it will affect it, if it will affect who wins it and everything, but we'll have to find out. Like Niall, I think using his horn to get our attention. Very interesting person. We go to Scott Sandever and his livery. Not too sure what it is. It's probably something I don't understand. That is way too loud. What is going on? Let's sort out this volume. No, turn off. Sound effects. Right, that should be better now. We're going to spectate. Yeah, there we go. We've only got car sound now. Completely oblivious to me. Now I need to get all the people out. We'll go with that. So at the moment we've got 13 people in. I think it might be 14, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure the full grid, but yeah, we're on the Ford car this season. So how much of a difference it will make, I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. Ricky, last season champion, won the Final 4 race by a country mile. He was far ahead of the rest, so he's the favourite going into this season. Even with the car change, we'll have to see what he can do. Other Final 4 drivers, one of them was Ben, who's driving very slowly at the moment. And someone just speed right past him. Another one was, I'm trying to remember now. I think it was Jackson and Aston with the other one. Why on earth am I seeing it? Well, it is, do you know what? This is our show car for this season. Every week this will be shown, I think. And it's Aston Lewis, who isn't racing this season, but he's driving an ambulance that says he loves me. So, I appreciate it. And he's been punted by Niall. It's a great start to the season, this. Interesting to see if we could use that as a safety car, maybe. Just a medical car, in case anyone needs it. Hopefully no one won't, but I wouldn't be surprised. This is NASCAR GT at the end of the day. Why has he put I Love Tom on it? Aston Lewis, everyone. He's such a funny guy. Everyone should... What on earth has just happened? That was, interesting. We have got an official start time, I think. If I just double check, there is a lot of noise behind Niall. We have an official start time of 10 past 7, so 4 minutes time. We will be going green. As Jono and Niall at the moment punting each other around the track. We'll probably see a lot of that in the race as well, from both drivers, from everyone in fact on this grid. A bit of extra information if I can find it. Stage 1 15 laps, stage 2 is 15 laps, and stage 3 is 30 laps, so a longer stage 3 by 15 laps apiece. So yeah, still 13 at the moment. I think that might be the grid. Let me check the confirmation messages. Okay, so it looks like... Oh, hang on. We had 14 confirmed, so looks like we might be missing one. That might be the reason for the 10-minute delay, to be fair. So that would not surprise me. But yeah, it looks like 14 racing. Who will become the winner of the first round of Season 10? Back looking at Jonathan Mills. He's I'd say, a very inconsistent driver, but he has flashes throughout the season. We'll see what he can do this year, but yeah, very inconsistent. You never really know what Jono is going to show up every week. Maybe this week the good Jono will show up and win. I'd say it's unlikely, but we're going to see what he can do. And someone's using their horn back there. Scott and Adam are hitting each other. So we should be close to starting. We're a minute away. As Scott's just gone into the pits. Right, so it is 10 past 7 now. The 14th car did join. So we're on 14 now, so we should be ready to go. Hopefully. And we can get round one underway. So it is 10 past 7. This was the start time. The 14th car's joined. I'm just waiting to see if we are going to get this underway. As for some reason, Niall has a 3-second penalty. Not sure how he's done that. He's currently weaving. He's enjoying himself, waiting for this to start. Just confirm something, and hopefully we'll finally get underway. So we've got all 14 cars in the lobby. There is a... what on earth is going on here? I don't know. There is absolute carnage here. Cars are flying everywhere. everyone just having fun, waiting for the race to start. You love to see it. Love a bit of bonding between the drivers. It's always good. And here we go. We're finally getting underway for Season 10, Round 1 of NASCAR GT. The grid order is of the championship order last season, so Ricky is the one that starts on pole. Fourth place, I think in the top four would have been Aston, but he is not racing this season, so it's Adam in fourth. And we're underway, and Ricky gets them away. Jackson leading behind as we go towards turn 1 for the first time. 15 laps is the first stage. So Jackson slots it in behind Ricky as they go through turn 1. All piling through. See how much team. A lot of this race is going to be teamwork. That's what I think you'll see. I don't think you'll see a lot of moves until the final stage. That's when things will start getting a bit messy. You'll just see like what Jackson's doing here. He's bumping Ricky forward. He's helping him pull ahead, helping him pull away from the pack, just to try and keep their positions for now. And there is a bit of a crash at the back. There is a very laggy pineapple head. That was interesting. But we go back to the front. Jackson's still bumping Ricky. And behind, Adams moved his way up into third. He's getting bumped by Scott, who's going to go for a move. No, I think he backed out of it in the end. And he's got Jono on his outside as well, as I thought. Does he come down now? There is one car stranded at the back. It is TN Ducky Nile. He's obviously been caught up in some sort of incident. He's at the back. So I wonder what happened to him. As Ricky still leads them. As we go to the final corner for the second time. Jackson pulling to the right, not really looking for a move, just... It's a lot about teamwork, it's a lot about working together with other people. Someone got forced into a wall there, and I want to say it was Jono who got forced into a wall. He's lost a fair bit of time there, as Kieran has left the room. I don't think he was in the race anyway. There is also another one at the back, number 12 car. He's had a moment somewhere as well. So him and Niall are the two at the back at the moment. Back to the front. Ricky still leads them. Jackson's still behind. Adam's still in third. He's giving Jackson a push up to Ricky. This is a bit of a concertina effect now. All three of them going to be pushing each other. Other than Ricky, obviously, he's going to be the one getting pushed. He's getting the most speed out of this. Any of them going to pull out at any point? I'd be surprised. And no, they don't. As forever since Scott going a bit high, he's touched the wall there, a bit too deep into that corner. On to lap 4. Ricky still leads. Adams moved his way into second. Jackson will on the inside there, going into turn 1. Jono even more inside. Just a bit of movement going on at the bit further back now. Jono getting all out of shape at the back there in that yellow and purple car. As Will moves his way up to third, but then Jackson gets a bump from Scott, so he's going to move back forward in the slipstream still. Can Will slot his way back in? It was tight. He didn't manage to. Scott's back up to 4th. Will still trying to find that gap. And I think he's found one now. Bit of action going on near the back as well. Ben, Dylan and Pineapple Head. Pineapple Head backs out. Ben ahead of both of them. Ricky has led every lap so far, as we're on to lap 5 now. Adam still in second, Jackson still in third. Will's going back to the inside. He's going to send one on Scott. He's taking a very much more of an outside line. Who's going to have a position? Will seems to have the slipstream now. So I think, yeah, he'll get that position. Scott down to 5th. It's Jackson pulling out on Ricky. So that now Jackson and Ricky on the high line. Adam on the inside, who's going to be pushed by Will. There's a bit of a two-train here. Only a short one on the outside as Jackson now has to back out of it. And now it's 3 cars on the inside as Adam getting pushed by Will and Scott. Will pushes Ricky into the wall. Doesn't lose too much time though, but he's starting to get a bit piled up now. Up at the front, Adam pulling away a little bit. You won't be able to pull away a lot though with these cars all bumping each other and slipstream and everything. But there are two trains at the moment, one on the inside. Will leads that one, lagging around a little bit. But he'll try and slot in a gap, and he finds one. It was a very tight one, but he found the gap between Adam and Ricky, and now the single train's back, bumping up. 3 wide, a little bit further back. I'm sure that will be sorted out soon. They're down to 2 wide now. So yeah, something got sorted out. Adam, there's Ricky on the inside of Will, bit of contact. Ricky gets through. Jackson looked a bit wobbly. There is a car off at the back, and that is Fragile. That's Fragile Dark. So he's gone off. I know we're definitely up to 3 cars. Jackson's the one that called in the cautions. Back up to the front. Adam leads. Ricky in second. Will in third, and there's 3 wide behind there. Kabinski, Jackson and Scott, I think it is, all 3 wide. Kabinski's got the one that's got DRS, and now Jackson and Scott have really been hurt by that. They've dropped back a lot there. But Scott slots in between Jackson and Jono, back up to the front. Adam, and they're all pulling out, all taking different lines through that final corner. That's what makes it a little bit messy on this start-finish straight, going down to turn 1. This is where it starts getting a bit crazy. When we're getting close to the end of the stage, more moves will be made as they get, some drivers will probably get a bit desperate for that extra position. Kabinski on the inside of Ricky. Can he make it stick? No, he's not got far enough alongside. Ricky slots back in, and they're all back to bumping each other. Adam's still leading, Ricky second, Kabinski third, Will fourth. It's a bit of a gap to Jono behind. The gap, pack a bit further behind, has dropped off a bit. They don't want to drop back far enough that they lose a stream. There is an extra car or 2 in that pack, but they seem like they're all more interested on fighting than trying to bump each other back up. 8 tenths is the gap between Will and Jono at the moment. These 4 at the front just working together at the moment. Ricky and Kabinski a little bit side by side again. Kabinski's really trying to get past Ricky through turn 1, but he can't able to do it. Ricky's able to slot back in behind Adam, and they're back to bumping each other. The gap between Will and John is still about 9 tenths now. They're pulling away this lead pack a little bit. It's not good news for the pack behind. They need to try and work together to try and get back forward a bit. As we are coming on to lap 10 now, Kabinski was on the inside of Ricky there. Kabinski dived into the pits, right. First one in is Kabinski. Now we can see how much fuel everyone has, but we don't know, like, obviously everyone's going to have a different fuel strategy. And looking at Adams, it doesn't look like he has a lot left, really. He should be in by the end of probably this lap, I'd say. Maybe he could extend it out one more time. Would he want to risk that? I don't know. Ricky, however, has got a lot more fuel, but because he was out in front, he was able to save a lot because he was getting bumped by everyone behind. The fuel strategy is always an interesting one when it comes to these races. So we'll see if Adam dives into the pits at the end of this lap and see if anyone else follows him. I would be surprised if no one pits before the end of the stage. No one pits. I'd be surprised if someone doesn't pit before the end of the stage, as Adam does dive into the pits. So does Jono, Scott and Pineapple Head, Ben as well. Any of the back markers do as well, would be interesting. So it's a 4-car train out in front. Ricky, Will, Hot Strike and Jackson are the cars in front. The top 2 a little bit further ahead than the other 2. Niall and Scott looks like they... Oh no, Niall has stayed out. Scott, the leading car, so he's jumped Adam in the pit lane. He jumped to that front pack. Adam obviously pitted when he was first. So, it'll be interesting to see what the pack is when everyone else pits. But Scott jumping Adam in the pit stops. Now, there's a few reasons. As three of the top four into the pits, Ricky, Will and Hot Strike. Jackson staying out what looks like another lap. He'll be in full engine mode, trying to catch up, gain as much time as he can. Niall, by the way, on one fuel, he was cutting it close at the end of that stint. So yeah, I presume Jackson will be in at the end of this lap. As Ricky comes out at the front of that. Where is Scott and Adam? That's the interesting thing. Ricky seems to have gained some time there. Not having used as much fuel has helped. Scott is high and in the wall. Not sure if he did that on his own. I'm not sure if he got a punt, but he was high and in the wall. He's going to have to slot behind Adam, so Adam gains a position after that. As Jackson's into the pits, as expected. Ricky should take over the lead of this race. He's got 1 second gap behind to Will, who's got basically a second of front and behind. Adam and Scott are going to be working together to try and catch up. As Jackson makes his pit stop. And we go back to Ricky, who should be our race leader. As he comes across the start-finish straight. Start lap 13. And Jackson comes out of the pits. Where will he slot in is the question. Is Adam going for a move on Will down the inside? Will trying to stick it on the outside. Adam, though, looks like he's made it stick well as Will slots in between Adam and Scott. And look at the train that's formed now. Jackson comes out between Scott and Jono in 5th place. Now, can these lot, well, they're already catching up to Ricky. This is going to be a fight at the end of this stage. For P1. Who's going to be the most desperate one for that extra position? Adam already going for a move on Ricky. Into the final corner. On the outside. Can he make it stick? Now Will behind. Who does he give a bump to really? He has a choice. Oh, Ricky slots behind in Adam anyway, so Adam takes over the lead of the race. 2 laps to go in stage 1. We're on lap 14. 15 laps in stage 1. So this is the penultimate lap. Adam in the lead, Ricky just behind him. Anyone going to be risking a move as Scott goes alongside Will? Looks like he's going to get more of a slipstream. No, I think he's backed off a bit and let Will through. Jackson kind of in no man's land there on the right. He's got no slipstream, no one to bump him. He's going to try and find a gap. There's a bit of contact with Ben and he's dropped back all the way to 8th. Bit of a mistake there from Jackson. As we go back to the front, Will seems to be under pressure from Scott here. Any move's going to be made as Jono on the inside of Scott now. Up high as we start the final lap of stage 1. Adam leads them to Ricky, to Will, Scott, Jono is the top 5. Anyone going to be desperate to make a move into turn 1. Oh, Adam a bit wider. I don't know if he did that on purpose. There's a bit of contact. He's hit Ricky there. Bit of a mistake from Adam there. He's now dropped a few positions. Will on the inside. Ricky, though, is going to get them bumped, so he should take the lead of this. Adam's still second, so he's not lost too much from that. As we're going to go on the run up to the final corner for the final time in stage 1. Adam's going to the inside. Can he make the move stick? No, he didn't like he's got the speed. Slots back in. Anyone going to get a bump as they come down to the line? Or Ricky looks clear enough out in front and he takes stage 1. Jono, did he get Adam in the end? It looks like he might have. As the caution is out and they all know their positions. So they'll, whatever the results were, they will reorganise themselves, hopefully, and sort themselves out. But for certain, Ricky won it, and it looks like Jono got Adam in the end because he is currently P2 on the road. Ben in 4th, Will in 5th and Hot Strike is in 6th. Scott 7th, Jackson down in 8th. Say, bit of a shock there. Thought he'd be higher up for now, but still plenty time in the race to go to see what he can do. Pineapple Head in 9th, Kabinski 10th, Dylan in 11th, Niall in 12th, LJ in 13th, Fragile Dark 14th. I don't think we're going to go green this time. I'm not going to go green this time because those two at the back are going to be too far back, I think. So I think we'll go one more lap under caution. And then we will get under racing. And yeah, they will not catch up. I'm the one that's having to put the message in, and I can see there was not enough time for them to catch up. Stage 2 is another 15 laps, so that will take us to lap 30 of this race, and stage 3 is a whole 30 laps. Obviously the final stage, stage 3, is the big points come on. Everyone is being really annoying and honking their horn. This is not a nice sound. Oh my god. Right. We shall send the message. That they will be green this time. And from what I remember, Ricky can go anywhere between the start of the... I think it's at the start of the pit wall and the start-finish line. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. But I think that might be what it is. So yeah, biggest shock of the round I think is Jackson down in 8th, and he did obviously get kind of singled out on this straight here. He was on the right on his own, got no slipstream, no bump, so that wouldn't have helped. But yeah, Ricky, defending champion, winning stage 1, winning the first stage of the season. Not much of a surprise there. Jono managing to pip Adam for P2 at the end. You did well, Jono. As I say, he's a bit inconsistent sometimes, but when he's on his good day, he is a very good driver and can pull out some great moves and great wins. So, we're close to the start of stage 2. As I said, this will take us to lap 30, and then it will be 30 laps to the end to decide the winner. Everyone's still honking their horn. It is slightly annoying. Ricky, get ready to go. When will he go? He goes now. Looks like he's caught Jono out a bit, but obviously this is going to be bumping from everyone down into turn 1. Ricky got a very good launch there. Jono getting bumped by Adam as they go down into turn 1. Oh, Ricky with a bit of a moment there. Managed to save it though. He caught that on the camera. Bit of a moment for Ricky, but he caught it. Jono now singled out on the right hand side. He's going to drop back some positions. Ben up to P3. He was near the back, in the middle of the first stage. He's now up to P3 as Ricky seems to have let Adam go into the lead of the race. Now Ben, is he making a move on Ricky? Could Ricky be fuel saving a bit? Fuel is a massive thing in this. You don't know what every driver's fuel mix is. We can see how much fuel they have apiece, but we don't know what they're running. Adam into turn 1 then, leading the way as he did for a fair bit in stage 1. Ricky in second, Ben in third, Will up to 4th, Jono, we're getting singled out, dropped down to 5th. Kabinski in 6th, Jackson's made a position in 7th. There is one car at the back, which is Fragile Dark. Morgan, I'm not sure what happened to him, obviously caught up in something that we didn't see. Bit of stuff going on at the back there. Saw the pink car, he's lagging about a bit. I think he was early in the race, as well as Jono. I can see that, I know that purple and yellow car. Jono was into a wall, didn't look like he got spun out. He's decided to go into the pits after to fuel up. Smart choice, really. It is a smart choice. You may as well fuel it while you can. There's more contact at the front. I think Ben might have been put in a wall there. I'm not sure. Just caught that. There's a lot of carnage going on. Ricky's dropped down to 6th. I'm not sure what's happened there. Ricky's down to 6th. He's on the right hand side. No slipstream, no bumping for him at the moment. He's going to try and find a slot to jump back in the queue, which he does in 6th place. It sounds like more contact in a wall. There is someone off. That is LJ. That is another one. So LJ, Jono and Morgan are the 3 so far that have been caught out in this pack. Adam still leads the way. Will up to 2nd, but he's going to make a move for the lead of the race. Ben will give Adam a punt though. As now Kabinski trying to make a move down into turn 1. It's 3 wide. Surely this won't end well. And yeah, it looks like someone got put in a wall there. I think it was Will that got put in the wall. As TM Ducky Niall has made his way up to 3rd. Where's he come from? And Pineapple Head as well, up into 4th. Where have they come from? In a blink of an eye, Niall and Pineapple Head have found their way up near the front. While as Ricky down in 6th, who obviously started this stage first after winning stage 1. Everyone just trying to make a move on other drivers. Most keeping it clean as Adam dives into the pits. He's once again one of the lowest on fuel early on, so he's using a lot of fuel up. Go back to the front and Pineapple Head is taking the lead of the race. Him and Niall at the front. Where did they come from? Pineapple Head leads. After being at the back in stage 1, he now currently leads stage 2 as someone going below the yellow line. There's a lot of carnage at the back. What on earth is going on at the back here? A couple people below the yellow line. Scott seemed to have got caught up in something. He's lost a bit of time. But out in front, Pineapple Head and Kabinski are 1-2 at the moment. As I think, and the caution has been called, and I'm not surprised. There is a lot going on in that pack. And I think Niall, where is? I'm struggling to. Unless I am just going... Yeah, Niall's dropped down to 9th. Something must have happened that we just didn't quite spot that has dropped Niall from at the front to near the back of the pack. I did not catch what happened. That was very, very strange. But Niall down to 9th then. And this is a top 3 that I wasn't expecting at any point in the race. But Pineapple Head leads to Kabinski and then to Will. Ricky got his way back up to 4th, so he's managed to escape some of that carnage at the end of that stage. Or end of that, not the end of the stage, the end of that little stint before the caution. So he's made his way back up to 4th after a bit of a torrent start to the stage. Ben in 5th. Dylan in 6th. Jackson still around 7th. I thought he'd be higher up. I really would, but he just cannot find his way up the grid at the moment. Hot Strike in 8th. Niall obviously down to 9th after being up near the front just about a couple laps ago. And the rest of the cars are catching up, so we shall be green this time. Let me just double check. Yep, I'm triple check. Yeah, they're all caught up. We shall be green this time. As they're all beeping the horns again because it's just being annoying. I hate that noise, but let the drivers do what they want to do. Continuing on, Scott in 10th. He got caught up in something. Adam in 11th. He's down there because he's pit. Now this is a good situation for Adam because you'd think everyone else would have to pit by the end of this stage. Thank you, Aston. There is a gambling thing. I'm not going to go into detail of it because we're about to go racing again. But Aston reminding everyone that there is a bit of a gambling. And someone is going into the pits. That's Kabinski now. That is against the rules. I mean, he kind of had to because he was on 1 fuel. He was going to run out of fuel, but that is against the rules. You cannot pit under a caution. Pineapple Head leads them away. Yeah, that would be most likely a penalty coming for Kabinski. Not much he could do because he was on low fuel, but there's had to do it. Now Pineapple Head, he's on low fuel, but he's done the right thing by trying to stay out on it. He will most likely pick this lap. But anyway, back racing. Not many laps to go in this stage now. Pineapple Head leads the way to Will and Ricky, obviously moving up to third because of Kabinski's pitting. He's moving to the outside line, trying to get past Will, but Ben seems to be giving Will a bit of a push, so Ricky will have to slot in between the two going into the final corner. Pineapple Head looking like he's taken a line to dive into the pits, which he is. Anyone else going to pit? I can see one more, which is Hot Strike. Other than that, everyone else, although Dylan's also pit, but everyone else seems to have stayed out. One more going into the back, and that is LJ by the looks of it. Everyone on such low fuel. No one seems to really be able to manage their fuel at the moment. As Will takes over the lead of the race due to Pineapple Head pitting. Ricky in second. Will he try and make a move for the lead of the race? He's going to keep giving Will a push at the moment by the looks of it. As Ben's also just pushing all three of them, getting the pushes. Jackson and Niall, who have come back up in this race, right behind them. I think we're going to see a lot of pit activity in the next couple laps. Anyone going to dive in? I can see one diving in, and that is Scott Sandever. He's dived into the pits. Everyone else seems to have stayed out for now, but I expect to see some more coming in soon. As Will leads him into turn one again. Ricky right behind him, and Niall looking like maybe making a move on Ben, but doesn't in the end. Slots back in. It's kind of a group of six here at the front. Will, Ricky, Ben, Niall, Jackson and Adam. And then you've got a bit of a gap to Jono behind. Adam obviously the only one in this pack that has pitted twice in this race. He pitted before the caution came out, so he will most likely eventually take the lead of this. As Ricky in the lead, Ben and Will side by side. Anyone going to go into the pits? No, they're all staying out for now. Ricky leads them away. This is going to get, it's 3 wide almost. I think it is 3 wide. Jackson getting ahead there. Ricky in the lead by a couple tenths. Will having a moment there. Saves it just. He's in second. Ben and Jackson side by side. Niall and Adam side by side. Lots of action at the moment as Jackson makes his way up into P3. Ben drops to the back of the pack, of his leading pack, in 6th place. Now, will anyone pit this lap? Jackson making a move. Looks like maybe on Will. Or is he just signifying that he's going to go into the pits? And he is. They are all going into the pits, other than Adam, which is obvious. Adam's already pitted in this race, so as we expected, all the other 5 in that pack have pitted. Jono, who I think, yeah, Jono also pitted, because he got into a moment at the start of the stage, so he's already pitted. So I think this is your top 2 for the stage. I'd say Morgan in 3rd. The top 3 are very solidified now for the stage. Kabinski moves to 4th. Will has jumped out in the lead of this pack. Ricky, there is a couple other cars that are obviously already pitted that have found their way with these guys that have just come out. So Will leads this pack now. The top 4 sort of solidified for this ring. Actually, Kabinski might be in a bit of trouble if the guys behind him can work together a bit, but I'm not sure that they will. I think Kabinski might be safe, but the top 3, 100%, that's locked in for the rest of this race. For the rest of this stage, sorry. Back to this battle for 5th. As we have 2 laps to go in this stage, Adam's already on the 2nd straight. As he's crossed the line to start the penultimate lap of the stage. Will leading the group of them. Ricky just behind him. Is Ricky going to go for a move? Nope, he's just going to stick behind him for now. Now will he try and pull out? Someone touched the wall, I could hear that then. Ricky Is he going to pull out on Will at any point? Looks like he's going to stick behind him and keep bumping him for now. The others behind, Ben, Niall, and I think that's Hot Strike, the one, is catching up a little bit. Will still leads him as Adam is now on his final lap. He's going through turn 1 now. The caution will not be called until, I think it's the top 5 crossing the line. So whoever leads this pack by the end of this lap is when the caution will most likely come out. As Ricky, oh, bit of contact between Ricky and Ben. That's going to let Will get away. They're almost 4 wide. As Ben drifting off to the outside, spinning a bit, and there is a crash. No, they've all not full crash. They both managed to save it, Ben and Niall. Oh, even more contact there. Just absolute carnage at the end of this. Back to the battle for 5th, and they have almost caught up to Kabinski. Don't really catch up enough to try and claim 4th. As Adam wins stage 2, Jono will take 2nd in stage 2. Morgan will take 3rd. And Kabinski going to be in 4th. Will looks like he's going to take 5th. Unless Ricky can do anything about it, he's going to pull out alongside him. And I think Ricky got it. I think Ricky got 5th there. Caution's out now. Everyone will bunch back up. And yeah, Ricky pipping Will on the line to take 5th place in stage 2. But Adam, your winner of stage 2. And this is going to be your order, for the looks of it, for the start of stage 3, the final stage, where all the big points are handed out, where everything matters, right? We'll get carnage at the end of the race, and they are all beeping their horn again. That is one loud and annoying noise. Wow. I'm not going to say green this time this lap. I think whoever at the back, which is LJ, not going to catch up in time. So I think we'll go one more lap. I'm going to watch LJ for now, just so I don't have to listen to the horns. I feel like someone's heard me say that and has decided to, everyone should now beat their horn. So yeah, we're not green this time. LJ was not going to catch up. I was right. But we will be green next lap. So we will have about 28 laps to the finish. Now LJ's caught up, we're going to have all the horns again. So that'll be interesting. So yeah, it will be about 28 laps, I think, until the end of the race. This is where all the big points are handed out in stage 3. This is where I would predict it would get kind of carnage near the end of it, where everyone starts getting desperate. Everyone stops kind of their working together, stops like any partnerships that started. That's where it all ends. That's where everyone just says, right, I'm going past you. You can't do anything about it. I will send the message to say it is green this time. And we will get back underway. Just like to check that LJ wasn't a lap down then, which he wasn't. So everyone's on the same lap. 28 laps to the end of the race. Hopefully nothing, no cautions in the middle of it. I would not be surprised if there was one, but hopefully we get a nice free run to the end of the race, full racing, most likely a pit stop as well in between. So that'll be interesting what the pit strategies are. As we're on the final mini straight before the final corner, we will be getting underway soon. And they'll back off with the horns. These drivers are jokers, I must say. They're something else. Please gamble safely. Yeah, everyone listen to what Aston just said in the chat there. Please gamble safely. If you're going to do the NGM gambling, make sure you don't overspend. There is someone in a wall. What? Ben is for some reason in a wall. He's obviously lagged out by the looks of it, because that was strange. Adam gets it back underway. We're underway for stage 3 of the first round of season 10 of NASCAR GT. Adam leads the way. Jono behind him. Morgan and Kabinski. Is Kabinski looking from the inside? Maybe Ricky looking on the outside of Kabinski into turn one. Will he get blocked off? Can he find a gap that's behind or in between? No, he's going to slot back in behind Kabinski. No gap there for him. Jono just giving push. Now Morgan pulls out. He's going for a move. Not sure how smart that was. He's just going to end up losing positions as Kabinski gets in front. Morgan down to fourth there. Bit of a mistake there. Too early in the stage to be doing that sort of pull outs. As Ricky down the inside of Morgan. He'll take P4. Kabinski alongside Jono. Can he get there? No. Pull back in behind as Jono gives Adam a more of a push. Now these Adam, Jono, Kabinski and Morgan are the four that pitted early in stage 2. So they'll be pitting earlier than anyone else in this race for the third time. As they go through turn 1, Adam very wide there. Bit of contact. Kabinski maybe getting ahead now. They're wheel to wheel. Jono has a choice. Who does he want to give the push to? I think Adam will slot in behind Kabinski. He'll give Kabinski the lead of the race. Slot in behind and get going again. Yeah, it's too early in the race to try and make any moves. That's more like the final 5 laps is where everything gets more desperate. If that looks like Morgan maybe on the inside, yes. Will trying to make a move potentially. Where on earth? I've only just noticed Ricky's down 11, but I did not see what happened to Ricky. It's very hard to keep an eye on what happens around the whole grid. LJ as well at the back. When you're so focused on one battle, you miss other things that happen. Something has obviously happened to Ricky. He's down in 11th. He's going to have to try and make his way up. As Ben joins the room again, can't obviously get back into the race, but he will be spectating. And Adam, and there is a car off in the back. And there is 2 cars off. That is a crash. Ricky was off as well. Jono is one of them as well. And I think Will is the other one. Or is it? There's Ricky, Jono. Maybe those 2 were the ones involved in that crash. Bit of carnage there, and the caution's been called. I wanted a bit of a clean run to the end, but that was never going to happen. I got my hopes up too high there. So we're back into caution. Won't be green this time, obviously. We'll have a lap to get them back settled. And the stewards, which is me and Aston, will probably have to look at what happened there. So we're going to be in for a fun time, I'd say. So the order, Adam leads the way to Kabinski, to Niall, Scott in 4th, Hot Strike in 5th, Pineapple Head back to 6th, Dylan 7th, Jackson in 8th, Morgan in 9th, Ricky down to 10th, Will in 11th, LJ in 12th, and Jono at the back. Fuel is going to be an interesting one. We're going to see a lot of pit stops soon, I think. Caution's not come out at a good time for the people that pitted early in stage 2, I don't think. We will be going green this time. But we'll just have to see how the fuel shakes out. I shall send the message. So we're going to go back racing this time. So we'll go back racing on lap 37. So about 24 laps to go. Don't quote me on that, my maths is not great. We'll have to, I'll just go with it and see. Adam obviously led the way at the start of the stage. He'll have to do that again. He managed to hold his own. Lost the lead to Kabinski for about a lap, but got it back not long after. Pineapple Head, by the way, in 6th, has got the fastest lap at the moment. Be interesting to see if anyone can take that off him. We'll find out. But as they round the final corner, we are ready to go racing once more. Hopefully this time we can go green to the end. We can have no more cautions and have a full-on race with pit stops, obviously. When will Adam decide to go then? He can go anywhere from now, and he goes now. Kabinski didn't get a good. I think I got alright launch. Niall did not get a great launch. He's under pressure with Scott already. But Adam and Kabinski, 2 out in front, pulling away a bit there. Adam in front, Kabinski in second, Niall is under pressure from Scott. Can he hold on to P3? Scott's just going to help him, I think. Yep, he's going to bump him up, try and catch up to the two out in front. The pack behind, led by Hot Strike, being bumped by everyone at the moment. Well, 3 cars, that was a smaller pack than I thought. The packs are a lot spread out at the moment. Could be to do with fuel, some people on less fuel than others, as Kabinski's going for it on Adam into the final corner. Kabinski, can he take the lead? No, he will slot behind Adam. Adam goes into the pits. And everyone else seems to be staying out at the moment. There's one more diving into the pits. That is Morgan. Everyone else staying out. As Niall and Scott both get past Kabinski. Niall into the lead of the race. Scott, a bit of a moment there. Yes, Kabinski on the inside. Don't think he knew he was there. He'll slot behind him now in P3. Niall leads the way to Kabinski. Scott right behind him in third. Hot Strike in fourth. Dylan's up to fifth. He got past Pineapple Head. Ricky in seventh. Bit further behind. More spread out back here. As Will and Jackson working together. Back to the front. Anyone else going to dive into the pits? Kabinski and Niall. That looks a bit interesting. Kabinski on the inside, looking a bit racy so far. Looks like he's going to dive into the pits, and so does Hot Strike and Dylan. So 3 into the pits this time round. There is one car that I think has had a moment. There is Kabinski. I am not sure what's happened there, because he looked like he was going into the pits, but now he's still on track and he's run out of fuel. I'm not sure what's happened there. I'll have to see if I can find anything about that. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's very confusing. I don't know what he's done. But he looked like he was going into the pits, but then hasn't. Back to the front though. Niall still leads. Scott's now right behind him. Pineapple Head is in third. He's very low on fuel. He's going to have to pit this time. Ricky up to fourth. The winner of stage 1. And the winner of the championship last season of season 9. Anyone else diving into the pits? As I expected, Pineapple Head is in. Niall and Scott still lead the way though. They're working together. Ricky about 2 seconds behind. He's got Will pushing him along with Jackson just too far away to get close enough to give some bumps as well. This is the pit stop stage. This is the pit stop time of stage 3. This is where we're not sure of the order, I'd say, as they're coming up to Kabinski, who has obviously run out of fuel after whatever happened to him. I'm just not sure. I'm confused. It looked like he was going in, ended up being sideways on the track. Niall and Scott still working together. Ricky still ahead of Will. They're still pushing each other. Getting a bit darker. We're getting a bit later now. It looks a bit darker out there. Now I'm wondering, when will these people pit? They've got extra fuel than obviously the other guys had, because they all pitted later on. They pitted after the caution instead of before, which the 4 drivers they've already pitted did. Scott just not interested in overtaking Niall. He's just pushing him along as expected. Still pushing along. Everyone else is really at the back now. It's Kabinski, I think, has finally made it into the pits. Finally for him. I'm just very confused what happened. Niall still leads the way. They all stay out, these top 2, and the top 5 all stay out. Will's, Ricky and Jackson. Will's got ahead of Ricky. I think that is a pack of 3 now. Is Jackson caught up enough to help out? Not quite. He's a little bit closer. Not close enough to give some bumps. Needs to maybe push a bit more to catch up to those 2. To help them catch up to the top 2, Niall and Scott, who are pulling away. It's up to 2.3 seconds the gap between Scott and Will. And there is a spinner a bit further back. I see it on the map. Morgan, who then reverses very dangerously into the path of LJ, who was lucky to escape, still being facing forwards. I thought he'd be sideways then, but he's not. Very lucky there. That was a bit naughty from Morgan. Niall and Scott. Now, anyone going to dive into the pits this time round? Yes, they both are. Niall and Scott both in. Will and Ricky and Jackson, all 5 of them in. So now, what is the order going to look like? There's Hot Strike and Dylan, 6th and 7th. These two may take maybe at the front here. We'll have to find out. Going into the pits, Jackson having the most fuel out of anyone, so he's not going to have to fill up as much. His pit stop time technically should be shorter. He might get a good jump here. Niall and Scott were 2 lowest, and I think it was Will and then Ricky there, and then Jackson just had a little bit more. Let's see who comes out first. Hot Strike and Dylan take over the lead. Niall comes out ahead of Scott. Jackson looks to have jumped Ricky. They're coming across Pineapple Head and Adam, who have already pitted again. So Jackson getting a bit of a jump. It looks like he's behind Ricky now. He didn't get the jump that I thought. Oh no, he is ahead of Ricky. Oh, Ricky singled out there. That's why. But back to the front, Hot Strike and Dylan side by side at the moment. Thought they'd be working together a bit, but they're a bit racy at the moment. Still not close enough to the end of the race to have some proper battles yet, I wouldn't think. Niall, though, is right behind them, just pitted. Now, I don't think Hot Strike and Dylan can make it to the end of the race on that fuel. I think they're going to be at least very tight, but I don't think they'll make it. So that would be one thing to watch. Top 3, Scott dropped back a bit. I don't know if he wanted to use a bit less fuel off the start, but he's dropped back, I think, willingly into that pack behind, unless something obviously did happen. He's just dropped back into that pack behind. Will now ahead of him. Oh no, Scott's back ahead. He's going to take the lead of that pack. Pineapple Head and Will side by side. I think Jackson will give Pineapple Head a bump. Oh, but Will gets a bump from Adam behind. They'll look for the top 3. No positions have changed. Hot Strike still leads the race to Dylan, and these positions changing. Ricky on the inside gets past Will, who again just got a bit singled out there on the right side. That's the worst thing that can happen on that straight. You don't want to be on your own. You've got to have a slipstream. Top 3 still remain the same. The gap between Niall and Scott is 3.3 seconds, and that keeps growing. These 4 behind them. These 5, sorry, behind. Sorry, 6. I haven't miscounted. There's 6 of them there in that pack. They need to start working together because they are losing time. Pineapple Head and Scott losing positions now. Scott into a wall. Not much he could have done there. He got forced up. He drops to the back of that pack. Jackson in P8 at the moment. Ricky looks like he's going to take the lead of that pack. Someone a bit wobbly. I think it's Will that was a bit wobbly there. He filters in between Pineapple Head and Adam. And Ricky leads that pack. Top 3 still remain the same. Niall, I think, just using these 2 to pull him along. The gap's 4.1 seconds. It's a good position for the top 3 right now. The top 2, if they can make the fuel last to the end, it's a great position for Niall, who's got extra fuel. This is a brilliant position for him. And the pack behind, Ricky leads them. Will is going to go for it by the looks of it. No, he backs out of that. Jackson on the inside of Pineapple Head. He's moved up to P6. But Pineapple Head coming back at him. Moves down, does Will. That's Jackson going to be a bit singled out there on the right-hand side. Ricky trying to give him a bit of a slipstream, I think, but can't. So Jackson down to P7. He got singled out. 4.2 is the gap between Ricky and Niall. Gap between the front pack and the final pack, and the second pack. Will, is he going to try and find a way through? They've got to try and work together. It's a 6-car pack. You've got to work together to try and catch up to those front 3. It's just not going to help keep battling. You've got to find a way. Ricky still leads this second pack. Hot Strike still leads the race. We are in the final quarter of this race. And Hot Strike leads the way to Dylan. These 2, they are not going to make it to the end on fuel. No chance at all. Those 2 are going to have to pit again, most likely. Niall just has to keep using them to pull himself along. It's working brilliantly. It's a 4.2 second gap to Ricky behind. 4.1 going down a bit. They need to be catching up a little bit more now. As this pack behind, still of 6 cars. from Ricky down to Adam. They seem to be working a bit together now, and they are catching up to the back ahead a bit now. This is much better from them. This is exactly what they needed. As someone dives into the pits, that is Jono. It's just not been Jono's day, I think. He just kind of got caught up in incidents, and LJ also into the... Yeah, Jono got caught up into incidents. Same with Morgan, really. Bit unlucky for them. As these trying to... Niall just dropping back off these two a little bit. I'm not sure if he's trying to save fuel at all. But that's bringing Ricky. It's down to 3.3 now. The gap between the first pack and the second pack. Ricky still leads the second pack. He's piling up ahead. Is he going to look for a move maybe on the inside? Bit shaky on that curb. He can't ride that curb too much. There's a bit of wall banging. Scott, again, he's having a good relationship with that wall. Or any wall around this circuit today. Ricky still leads that pack. It gaps up to 3.6 of it here. So I changed camera by accident. Niles just dropped back off the top too a bit. Maybe saving a bit of fuel. As Pineapple Head, the bit in the wrong line here. This camera could change. Will is pushing Ricky. Pineapple Head is on the left of Will. Ricky, okay, they're all singling out Pineapple Head. There's a bit of teamwork now. As that looks like Adam all the way on the outside. Ricky still leads this pack. Top Striker's now started lap 50. Or about to start lap 50. Niall's back closer to him. The gap is up to 4.1. That's more like it for Niall. As someone is going to be diving into the pits, that is Adam, who... So the early pit stop, I thought might work out better, but it just doesn't seem to have for him. It's just not going to work out at all. And there is a spinner. That looks like a lap car. It's LJ, who just pitted again. He's had a moment. I'm not sure what's happened to him. Let's look at Kabinski and Jono. Bit of a backmarker action as Kabinski unlaps himself from Jono. Whatever happened to Kabinski with the pit stop is just completely ruined his race. Bit unlucky for him. There's these two, and I think we must have a caution. That I did not see the message. So yeah, there must be a caution. The message, the message might have popped up and I've completely missed it. But I didn't see it, but looked up more, backed up. So Niall's 4-second lead over the pack that he pitted with has gone. So that's good advantage that he had. Has just completely gone now. These two out in front, 100% we're going to have to pit again. The rest of them, I think we'll be alright till the end. But I know we're going to have to let the lapped cars unlap themselves. So we're not going to be able to go for a while, and I think one of the lap cars has just been notified of that. As it is Kabinski who unlaps himself. I think it's going to be LJ needs to as well, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm meant to type that message in or not. I'm doing what I've been told. So if there is another one, is LJ going to? No, he's going to back off a bit. So wait, so who was it that? So it is Kabinski that's just driven off. I'm sort of confused. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to do my best here, but I'm confusing myself. I'm confusing everything. I'm not sure. I'm just wondering if my chat's working now. I don't know. This is. I really don't know what to do. I'm really confused with what Kabinski's done. Was he meant to do that? I'm not sure. There's other lap cars. Like I'm really confused right now. I don't know what to do, really. This is not... I just don't know if my chat's working because I didn't see the caution message. Okay, they are going green this time. I didn't see the caution message and I got very confused if what was happening with lap cars and everything. That wasn't fun, but we're going racing again, so. So it is Hot Strike and Dylan that will lead the way. So we'll have about 9 laps of racing, hopefully to the end. Hopefully now, no more cautions will come out as Hot Strike gets the racing back underway. Him and Dylan lead the way. They're low on fuel. They'll have to pit soon. Niall, his big gap out in front has been taken away from him with the caution. Ricky's now right behind him. Will right behind them. Scott, Jackson, Adam, Pineapple Head, Jono is bowed back in it as well. And Pineapple Head down, going down a bit. Morgan, everyone down to Kabinski's on the lead lap. The only one that's not on the lead lap is LJ, who is pulled off to the side. I don't know what's happened to him there. Back to the front. And Hot Strike and Dylan just not really been able to do much really. They're just having their own thing. They're going to have to pit soon. They're low on fuel. Going to presume they might pit this lap even. We'll have to see what happens. And they do both pull off into pit. So that will let Niall go into the lead of the race. And the top 3 in their own little group is Niall, Ricky and Will. Scott is about a second behind them and has got a second and a half behind him to Jono, who should be able to catch up because he's getting pushed by Jackson and has got Adam just behind him with Morgan just behind him. Pineapple Head a bit further back. Back to the front though. Now these 3 probably going to work together, I would say. Scott is most likely going to fall into the palms of Jono and that group, which Adam's making a few moves now. More moves will start to be made. This is where it gets tense for the drivers. As someone is into the pits, Kabinski makes another pit stop. Niall still leads the way then. Ricky is behind him with Will next to him, well, behind him. Scott, like falling back into the pack behind. That's not a bad thing though, because he's got to try and get back to them quick enough because the top 3 are pulling away. Niall with some less fuel than Will and Ricky is interesting. I don't think he might be tight to the end, I'm not sure. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Scott now definitely in that pack. They're all going to have to work together, I think, to try and pull closer to the pack in front. Otherwise, these top 3 are going to pull away and it's going to be a battle between these 3 for the win. And they are. Scott's a bit singled out there. He drops down into 7th. He was 4th a lap ago. He's down to 7th now. Jackson still down in 8th again. Thought he'd be higher up. He's just been around that 7th, 8th marker this race. Niall still out in front. Ricky right behind him. Will right behind him. 6 laps to go when they cross the line. Adam leads this second chasing pack. Gap's about 2 seconds. They close the gap a bit. They're working together. He's working well. Niall drops to the back of the lead pack. Ricky takes over the lead of the race. Will in second. Niall in third. The gap is now 1.5 seconds between Niall and Adam. The chasing pack are almost there with the lead pack. This is where it gets interesting with all of them bunched up together. Moves will be made. Everyone will start getting a bit, I'd say, impatient in trying to get some position. 1.4 seconds the gap now between the 2 packs. And this backpack is sort of backed off a bit. Scott and Jackson have sort of tailed off a bit. Not good for news for them. But Adam, Jono and Morgan are all in there for the taking. 1.1 second is the gap. Ricky's still out in front. 5 laps to go now in this race. Ricky leads Will, Niall. And then under a second now is the gap from Niall to Adam. The 2 packs are getting closer. Under a second, they are right there with him. It looks like maybe a 6-car battle for the win. What is the gap now? 5 tenths. They are right with him. Here we go. As Niall's dropped off the back, I think he's having to save fuel a bit. He's dropping off. Will and Ricky are pulling away, and Adam and Jono make moves. Morgan makes a move. They're all pushing wide now. Niall will drop to the back of that pack. I think the fuel situation for Niall is not looking good. He's dropped to the back of that pack. He's side by side with Morgan at the moment. Now these 3 need to work together to just get back up to Ricky. It's 8 tenths the gap. That should be easily brought back. Ricky still leads. Will keep pushing him down the main straight. 5 tenths is the gap between Will and Adam. Niall just having to fuel save. He's having to drop back off a bit. Not good news for him. Someone taps the wall. Not sure who that was. I want to say it might have been Adam, who pulls ahead of Will, who's having to back off a bit. He's just backed off there. Maybe it was Will who hit the wall. He slowed down a bit. Adam up to second, getting pushed by Jono. Adam falls back behind Ricky. Jono's still on the outside of Adam. They're still side by side. Adam to the inside now. This is where all the racing starts. Adam on the inside, Ricky and Jono on the outside line. There is Will in the middle line there, basically, and there's someone else gets pushed into the wall. That's Morgan getting pushed into the wall by Will there, and there is someone down to the pits. Niall cannot make it to the end on fuel. He's misjudged that one. His race is over. So it's a 5-car battle out at the front for the win. Ricky, Jono, Adam, Morgan, Will. Who will take round one as Ricky has a bit of a slide. Jono taps the wall. It's all getting tense out in front. All 4 of them behind pushing. They're going to move out. Jono moves out. Ricky moves up. He's out in the middle of them. Jono and Adam side by side. Adam on the inside. Who's taking the lead? Morgan now. Even more inside. Jono to the outside. They're almost 3 wide. Jono gets a tap from Ricky. Into the wall. Doesn't lose too much time. That's good for him. He's still on the outside. Into the wall. Again goes Jono. Adam in the lead, 2 laps to go when they cross the line. They're all bumping each other. Scott and Jackson having their own little battle for P6. But these 5 at the front are in the battle for the win, and Adam goes wider. Jono on the inside. Ricky going even more inside again. Anyone going to touch the wall this time? Jono and Ricky. And it looks like Jono has been pushed down. There's been some contact between the two. That's taken Jono out of the fight. Stewards will look at that one, but these 4 still. Adam's got a 6-tenth lead in front. That's not going to be enough to stay in front. He's going to get caught up by Will, Morgan and Ricky. They're going to round the final corner for the penultimate time to start the final lap of the race. Who's taking the win in round 1? Adam's the one that leads the way. Will's right behind him, Morgan's right behind him, and then Ricky. Jono now kind of singled down to the spinner. Scott and Jackson have had a moment somewhere in the exit of the final corner, and they've had a crash. Scott's around, he's back straight. On the final lap, Adam leads, Morgan up to second, Will and Ricky are side by side. Will pushed up to the wall. Adam still leads the way. Anyone going to go for that last gas move on the last lap? Morgan just interested in pushing Adam at the moment. Ricky ahead of Will, who will just be pushing him at the moment, trying to get back up to the top 2. But Morgan at the moment pushing Adam as they go into the final corner for the last time. Adam, can he get a good enough exit? Morgan's got a good exit. He's got a really good exit. He's going to be close. Morgan pulls out. Adam moves across. Adam takes it. He takes the win. Morgan, I think, ran out of fuel at the end. Morgan ran out of fuel. He had the run, but he ran out of fuel. He still managed to hold on to second. Will in third. Ricky, the reigning champion, in 4th. He won stage 1, but the winner of stage 2, Adam, is the winner of the first round. Jono ended up getting P5. He got unlucky with a bit of an incident that stopped him from being in that lead fight at the end. Jackson in 6th, Scott in 7th. Those two had a bit of a tangle by the looks of it. Going on to the final lap, Scott had a moment, ended up almost 4 seconds behind Jackson. Hot Strike in 8th, Dylan in 9th. Those two misjudged their strategy. Niall also misjudged his strategy. He finishes 10th. Pineapple Head in 11th. He gets fastest lap. Nothing for that, but well done to him. Kabinski in 12th. Still don't know what happened with him and his pit stop thing. And LJ is about to finish the race in 13th, last on track. And there was Ben, who seemed to have lagged out. He's 14th. I'll say that anyway. And yeah, that was an entertaining first round of the season. Adam, the winner of stage 2, ended up converting it into a stage 3 win. And Ricky, the winner of stage 1, could not convert that. Well, that was exciting. Obviously, anything to do with penalties, we'll have to see. From my knowledge, I don't think Adam was involved in anything. Can't say that for sure. But yeah, for now, he is the winner of the first round of Season 10. And I thank you all for watching this, and I hope you all enjoyed it like I did. It was very exciting, especially at the end. And hopefully we'll see you again for round 2. Thank you very much.